Man, it really feels like I'm on a roll when it comes to making these fan-made the new Scooby-Doo movies title cards. And yes, as you saw from the title and thumbnail, I somehow made 36 brand new of these fan-made the new Scooby-Doo movies title cards, as you see here on my bed. Man, I never thought that I would be that obsessed about making my own fan-made title cards based on the new Scooby-Doo movies. I guess it shows how much I like the new Scooby-Doo movies and Scooby-Doo and Guess Who and any other Scooby-Doo crossover. Now, some of them I might mention again because I brought these up before in some of my other regular videos, YouTube shorts, and community posts, and most of them will be like brand new if you saw my community posts I've been posting lately. We got Bugsy Dooby-Doo, guest starring Bugs Bunny, Kiss of Spooks, guest starring Kiss, Stupid Blurriness, Answer This Case, guest starring The Question, Scooby's Feeling Blue with No Clue, guest starring Steve Burns from Blue's Clues, Sit on a Ghoul, guest starring The Fonz from Happy Days. Quasi on Quasar, Scooby, guest starring The Herculoids. And I swear, this type of crossover between the Herculoids and Scooby-Doo should happen at some point, whether it's a movie or TV episode or video game or comic. Anyway, Cory and the Samurai Ghoul, guest starring Corey Devontae Williams, aka Cory Kenshin. Puppet Pearls, guest starring John Tartaglione. Sorry if I butchered his name. Busted Makes Me Feel Hungry, guest starring Slimer and the Ghostbusters. Oh boy. Green Thumb Crook, guest starring Poison Ivy. I don't know what it is about me drawing these title cards and having Scooby and the gang team up with various DC villains. I mean, in my first and second batch, I had Mystery Inc. team up with the Joker and Harley Quinn. Coast to Funky, guest starring the Funky Phantom. The Hardy Case for You, guest starring Ashton Hardy. I remember that Ashton Hardy actually commented on my community post about this little title card I made about him, and he really loved it. And Ashton Hardy, if you're watching this, thanks for commenting, and I still hope you like this. I know he will. Gadget Do, Where Are You? Guest starring Inspector Gadget. And I somehow failed to mention this last time, but I gave Scooby and Shaggy some Inspector Gadget style hats. No idea why I didn't mention this before, but hey, better late than never, am I right? Viral Ghouls, guest starring Liza Koshy. And this probably would have been the second time Scooby and the gang met Liza Koshy. And I added the little record button on the right-hand corner of the picture, which I'm not sure if you guys have noticed that or not. I also did the same thing with this one, which I will mention later. The City of Ghostville, guest starring the Powerpuff Girls. I hope someday we'll get a Scooby-Doo Powerpuff Girls crossover someday. The Amazing World of Spooks, guest starring Gumball from, well, the Amazing World of Gumball's franchise. And it makes sense considering how he got revived for a 7th season this year, which is pretty cool. And I would be so shocked if Mystery Inc. appeared in an episode of The Amazing World of Gumball at some point. And yeah, I know the idea would be too goofy and impossible to pull off, but sometimes you never know. Halloween Spooks, guest starring Elvira. And this probably would have been like the second time Mystery Inc. has crossed over with Elvira. Okay, make that second and a half if you count Elvira technically appearing as a cameo in Return to Zombie Island. I know it technically doesn't count, but still. Lab Rat Creeps, guest starring Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. And you might have noticed that I made him look a little bit taller in this drawing, instead of making him look a little bit short. Just like with the Powerpuff Girls, it'd be cool if we had a Scooby-Doo Dexter's Lab crossover. It's Scooby-Doo and the 3 Internet Bears, guest starring Grizzly, Panda, and Ice Bears from We Bare Bears. Which is kind of funny how the Mystery Machine had a cameo in the movie. Batty Doobie-Doo, man! Guest starring Batman. And yeah, I know that seeing Scooby in a gang team up with Batman has been getting a little bit old lately. But hey, that's just my opinion. And who am I to judge about it? I mean, if you guys are like big fans of Mystery Inc. teaming up with Batman, then that's fine. It's just my opinion. Deadhound, guest starring James A. Janice, aka the guy from Dead Meat. Now this is a very special title card that I made because over on this channel, Dead Meat, James A. Janice made like 500 videos in the past couple of years, which is quite a milestone. And yeah, you might have noticed that this title card looks a little bit bloody. Yeah, I wanted to make it look gruesome, since James A. Janice has covered a lot of horror movies. An Impossible Case for Scooby Snacks, guest starring Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossibles. The Attack of the Phantom Virus. Yes, this will guest star Nikki Blake from Scooby Addicts. And if you couldn't tell by this glowing blue hand, this probably would have been like a sequel to Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, which in my opinion would be pretty neat, in my opinion. Imagine that! Yes, starring the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends crew. I somehow made Scooby look a little bit scared because, well, I guess he thinks Blue is a ghost. I wouldn't blame him for thinking that. The Skateboarding Ghoul, guest starring Tony Hawk. Yes, I'm sort of familiar with Tony Hawk and how he's a famous skateboarding dude. And yeah, I made a community post about how I forgot the extra E in skateboarding, which was my bad. Sorry, I burped a little bit. We got Scooby-Doo and the Ghost Treasure Case, guest starring Goober and the Ghost Chasers. And yes, whenever Goober gets scared, he turns invisible. And as you see here in this title card, all you see is his hat, collar, and eyes. which makes it look a little bit more freaky. The KV and the Phantom Crook, guest starring Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels. Dedicated to Mel Blanc. Yeah, that was pretty nice of me to do that. Since he is the voice of a few Hanna-Barbera characters and a bunch of Looney Tunes characters. Oh, I should have done the same thing for this one, Bugsy Dooby-Doo. It's the Mystery Queen, guest starring Queen Latifah. Green with Spooks, guest starring Green Arrow. Yeah, this is actually the very first time that I got to draw Green Arrow and, well, anything. Pretty impressive. Oh, this one is a doozy. A Wicked Halloween for You, guest starring Scary Godmother. And yes, this probably would have been like a... Scary Godmother is an actual character who had 2 movies that aired on Cartoon Network. Just thought I'd bring that up in case you guys didn't know. And look, I even made Shaggy and Scooby look pretty freaked out about it. I don't blame her because, well, I guess Scary Godmother is, well, a witch, after all. But she is a good witch, after all. For some reason, I always made her look like Cruella de Vil for some reason. I don't know why I made her look like Cruella de Vil for some reason. I guess it's the way I drew her. Moving on. The Ghoulish Pop Star, guest starring Ariana Grande. And yes, I did my best to get her likeness down correctly again. Yeah, I know that you guys might say that my drawing of Ariana Grande looks a little bit off-putting, considering how she almost looked like John Travolta. But don't worry, this is meant to be like a drawing of Ariana Grande, okay? Just thought I'd make that clear. Ooh, this one is another one of my favorites. Operation Mystery, guest starring the Kids Next Door. You know, I'm surprised we haven't had a crossover between this and Scooby-Doo. Well, considering how Frank Welker is involved with both Codename Kids Next Door and Scooby-Doo. And if we do get a chance to have a Scooby-Doo and Codename Kids Next Door crossover movie at some point, it probably would have been a cool reunion for both Frank Welker and Cree Summer, who is the voice of Abigail Lincoln, aka Number 5, and her older sister Cree, and one of the delightful children from down the lane. But just imagine if Operation Mystery became like an actual crossover between Scooby-Doo and Codename Kids Next Door. I mean, yeah, we would have to wait a long time for that to happen. But hey, you never know. Anything is possible. Out of the Spooky World, guest starring Space Ghost and the Martian Manhunter, dedicated to Gary Owens as Space Ghost. I should have wrote down George Lowe as well, since he did voice Space Ghost in Space Ghost Coast to Coast. But you know, I don't think Space Ghost and Martian Manhunter has ever crossed over before. And I think the only time Space Ghost has teamed up with anyone in the DC universe was an episode of Batman the Brave and the Bold called, I think it has something to do with Space Ghost and Batman battling the Creature King, which was more like a preview which is more like an appetizer episode before we get into the main episode of something. I can't remember what it was because it's been years since I saw since I saw Batman the Brave and the Bold. And these are some new ones I finished up today. Thriller Night Fever, guest starring Michael Jackson, rest in peace. And if this does become like an actual episode, I assume they would have to hire a Michael Jackson impersonator to voice him. No, someone who looks and sounds just like him. Power Up Ghoul, guest starring the Power Rangers. And yes, it's no surprise that I didn't grow up watching Power Rangers in general, despite the fact that I have the movie on VHS. But tell you what, when I might get around to watch the movie at some point and share my thoughts on it. But anyways, just imagine if we had a Power Rangers Scooby-Doo crossover, rather than a movie or a comic. Another great one. Carry Me Away, guest starring Jim Carrey. Now this one seems awesome, and this isn't completely far off, considering how in my other Scooby-Doo in my other Fanmade the new Scooby-Doo movies title cards, I drew two of Jim Carrey's characters, The Mask and Ace Ventura, with Scooby-Doo. So I guess this one isn't completely far off. And if you notice that his outfit is similar to his movie character, The Mask, well, it's just a little bit similar. So that's all 36 of the Fan-Made the new Scooby-Doo movies title cards that I've been working on. And man, was it a doozy creating all of these. Not sure if I'll end up making more at some point because I might have to take a little bit of a break after working on all of these. But I'm glad you guys enjoy these logo drawings a lot. And I had a lot of fun making these. I had a lot of fun making these. So do you guys have a favorite? Just let me know down in the comments below.